Do your children love learning? At the Institute for Self Mastery, we've been homeschooling for 10 years. We didn't just hop on this because of what's going on now. Check us out, the Institute for Self Mastery, ismhomeschool.org. Peace.
The Serious Minds Brain Tonic was created to sharpen the mind by protecting cells and increasing neurotransmitters associated with learning and memory. This is the Serious Minds Brain Tonic. The Resurrection Formula. This male reproductive tonic elixir is the resurrection you've been looking for. It is a stimulating sexual tonic with mild androgen-like effects that is nourishing to the reproductive system. You can order them at www.professorgriff.me and www.seriousmindsinstitute.com. Just call 678-557-2919. Your health is your wealth. Peace.
Greetings, Professor Griffin, Public Enemy, instructor for the USCCA. Today, we're going to talk about safety, training, education, and legal protection. Join us out here on the range to get some training, get some education, most of all safety, and definitely if you have to use your firearm, some legal protection. Contact us. Simply go to www.professorgriff.me or www.seriousmindsinstitute.com for safety, training, education, and legal protection. Alright? Professor Griff, Public Enemy, and I'll see y'all in class. Peace, Quan. What's up? I guess it's just you and I tonight. All right, cool. Let me see. All right, greetings, families. Professor Griff, y'all already know this is Serious Minds Are in TV, and doing the best I could do with being in YouTube prison. Not totally, because I'm on my Professor Griff page and or channel rather, but I'm still on the gram, still on the book. All right, y'all just got to meet me wherever I am at. So I guess that's a beautiful thing. Shout out to everybody that decided to take their hour out of their evening to come join me as we talk about this very timely subject, and maybe y'all could lend your energy and your efforts to the discussion. All right. If you would like to donate to independent media, please do so by going to www.professorgriff.me and press the donate button, or grab your cell phone right now and go to the Cash app and go to $ Professor Griff and leave me some Frosted Flakes, some Rice Krispies, some Captain Crunch, all right, coupons, whatever, so I can at least have something to eat, something. And or if you're on YouTube right now, go down to the super chat and click the dollar sign said, yo, Griff, I got like $4. I got $4, an old lottery ticket, and some advice for y'all. Okay, so yeah, really appreciate that. But let's dive into the subject. So listen, fam, I know you'll keep hearing these same commercials. It's a beautiful thing because at least we're consistent with it. The last commercial you heard was my firearms training class commercial, and it's been going well, but I am trying to get people to at least keep their word. Do not meet me and tell me I heard you were doing firearms training, Professor Griff. And this is the average woman I meet. I just bought a gun, or I had a gun for a whole year. I never shot it. I had a problem chambering around, or I had a problem doing whatever. And you never decided to take a firearms class? Shame on you. This imaginary gunfight that's going to happen, or an imaginary person, you're going to defend yourself and your family with this person breaking in your house with this imaginary scenario you got going on in your head, not going to happen. Practice makes perfect. When I was coming up in the martial arts, they said, no, it don't. Perfect practice makes perfect. You got to go over and over and over and over again. Repetition is the mother of learning. All right? So until you learn it, it becomes second nature. Then and only then you'll be able to calm yourself down in any situation, think through it, and make some things happen. All right? This imaginary scenario that you got going on in your head that somebody gonna carjack you or break in your house, and you just gonna, yeah, it's not gonna happen. Trust me, it's not gonna happen. This thing called second nature, this thing called reflex, and this thing called muscle memory, all of which we have to at least calm ourselves down, get ourselves in check so we can at least pull from those repetitions, the knowledge base. All right? So, with that said, go to www.professorgriff.me, join up, so I can get your email address and send you out the necessary information for the classes that are happening. Real quick, the next class that's coming up is this weekend in Atlanta. I'm doing a class at a community center just to give a basic introductory course to STELP, which is Safety, Training, Education, and Legal Protection. The next class after that is Outdoor A&R AR-15 rifle class. It's an outdoor class that I'm giving on April 24th. All right? Outdoor rifle class. So if you own an AR-15 and you've never shot it, or you only shoot it when the holidays roll around and you think that's enough, it's not going to be enough. All right? All right. So if I start talking about target transitions and all this kind of stuff, yeah, tactical mag reloads, you got to know what this is. And it has to come. All right? Anyway. All right, fam. So last class after that is May 15th here in Atlanta, Georgia at the Georgia Firing Line. All right? So it's going to be not advanced handgun, but handgun 2. All right? We're going to step it up a notch. We're going to deal with situational awareness, conflict avoidance, and then we're going to get deeper into the legal aspect of things. Peace, Carl. How you feel? All right, let's dive into this subject. Tonight we're talking about Georgia voting law. Georgia's voting laws. All right. So in the meantime, between time, while we're pulling this information up, can everyone do me a favor, please? Everyone contact 3 people right now. Text them, email them, call them. You still got a landline. Run out the door, down the street to the corner to the payphone. Snatch a pigeon, put a message in his hoof. All right. However you got to contact them. Sit down, meditate, and send vibrational signals through the ether. However you got to contact them, let them know we're on live right now on Professor Griff's YouTube channel. And of course, 3 channels on Facebook. All right. Professor Griff's YouTube channel is Professor Griff. And of course, we're on Periscope. And of course, we're on IG. All right. Just go to IG. Just go to Professor Griff. All right. All right. So I decided, from hearing all of what's going on with the people responding to Governor Brian Kemp of Georgia and the signing into law a voting law. And I don't see how we don't see this is the same kind of treachery inside of politics that our parents had to deal with. All right. Coming up, I've often heard people and I've seen slogans, and you've probably seen the same slogans. Puffy had a slogan. It was a vote or die. Remember that? You remember? Come on, talk to me, fam. Vote or die. That was the slogan. So you either exercise your right to vote or die is the choices that they were giving us. All right? So then now, after black people, because of a brave sister like Stacey Abrams, have stepped up to the plate and galvanized black people's energy to the degree where we've exercised this quote-unquote right, and we've actually changed the landscape of what would happen not only in Georgia, but in America in reference to voting, although you still voted in someone that is actually changing the law in Georgia. All right? But the business community, the grassroots community, those that believe in this idea of voting, and other communities are responding. So let's dive into this particular subject, and let's go over some facts. Anyone out there that really knows me know I don't do belief. People can say what they believe in, and you can argue all day. All right? People can argue all day on your belief. Do your thing. Beautiful black skin, you absolutely correct. You said most states require ID to vote. So why is Georgia different? All right? Who set that law into place in the first place, especially in Georgia? And then now, why all of a sudden now you need an ID to vote? That's the question we should be asking. Not the fact that most states require an ID, which I think it only makes sense. You have to have an ID showing that you're living in Georgia and that you have the right to vote in Georgia, and it shouldn't be a problem. But beautiful black skin is everything else that they're doing is the problem. So even if you show up with the ID, why you got to stand out and stand in line for 11 hours? Why your old 89-year-old grandmother got to stand out there for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours? All right? She don't have a portable rocking chair, a philosophy bag, or damn whatever. But yet if my grandmother's out there, I can't, it's in law, it's law now that I can't bring her a water, a bottle of water, a damn croissant, a damn biscuit, a bagel, some goddamn Skittles. You can't bring nothing. It's against the law. You mean to tell me if my old grandmother's out there dying of thirst because she's been in line for 8 hours, I can't bring my grandmother some bottled water? See, this is the kind of madness. See, then we get confused with basic statements that you just made, beautiful black skin, and it confuses people, all right, without diving into it and explaining the whole entire picture. So a new voting law in Georgia has sparked rebuke from MLB, which is the Major League Baseball, and political spin from both parties, both Democrats and Republicans. I call them the Republicrats. All right. Well, fact-checking the claims from President Joe Biden and Governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp. Let's dive into it. Biden wrongly claimed new Georgia law would close a polling place at 5 o'clock when working people get off. So that's just ridiculous, because if the average person works 9 to 5, you won't be able to make it to a voting place if it closes at 5 o'clock. Now, will your boss or your job allow you that time to get off in order to vote? When I say allow you that time, keep in mind now, the average voting time for someone to vote, the average time is 6 hours standing in line. All right, someone has stood in line for 11 hours just to vote. All right, working class people get off at 5. All right, how you gonna vote? Then Governor Kemp misleadingly suggested the new law would reduce the number of drop boxes available for absentee voters to drop off their ballots. So if you got drop boxes where black people can get to them, i.e. on the bus line on MARTA, which is MARTA, moving Africans rapidly through Atlanta, right? If you have the drop boxes where black people can get to them, all right, then we could do the drop box thing and it won't be a problem. But you don't have that. You have drop boxes, which is miles and miles away from anywhere that black people live, especially if black people in Georgia, which is the country, in these rural areas, black people can't get to these particular drop boxes any other way. If black people don't have transportation, they can't get to the drop boxes. All right? And then it says Kemp inaccurately claimed that Biden is factually wrong about the water issue, a provision of new law that bans any person from providing food or drink to people waiting in line to vote. All right? Now, take all this with a grain of salt. But let me say this to you. These people can say what they want to say in an article, and I'm going to cross-reference this. All right? But we seen what happened. And all of this is true. It's not mistakenly this and mistakenly that. I live here in Georgia, and I've seen it with my own eyes. I've known people that went out and tried to vote. I saw, heard stories of standing in line for long hours and trying to get water and trying to bring a portable stool with them to sit down because they're out there so long. But in fact, black people did show up and show out all across the country. All right? And the Republicans that thought they were going to stay in office were voted out. All right? Hold on. Let me pull up another article because I want to be able to cross-reference. I don't want to go to I don't want to go to the same news source and read from the same news source. All right, let me go to a different one. All right, so let's take it way back. Can someone give me some information about the 1965 Voting Rights Act? Now I'm going to say this. Thank you very much, Quan. Quan said voter suppression is a tool the Republicans use to win elections, plain and simple. The words we should be focusing in on right here is plain and simple. So let me say this just from the rip. If you're an American that they claim that you are, according to whatever amendment made you American, A, you wouldn't have to amend the Constitution in order to make you an American if you're an American. 2, if you're an American, you don't have to change and curve and shave different rights and formulate different rights so that you can vote. No other people that claim to be American You have to do that for them. We're the only people that you have to carve out laws and rights for us to vote. Why is that? If you're an American like you claim you, I'm talking to the Democrats and talk to the Republicans right now. If you're an American, why do you have to have laws changed in order for you to have a right to vote? Like Nurse, you're right, if you're an American. But what makes you an American? Come on, I'm listening. What makes you an American? All right, fam, I gotta take some vitamin D3, some K2, some black elderberry. If you have a right to this land, and where's that right written at? And if it's written on a document that they don't respect, they're not going to respect you or your right. Mm-hmm. You said I'm eating the vitamins like candy. They're gummy bears. All right, Quan. Since you asked, Quan, I'm gonna let y'all in on something very personal. All right. And I'm not saying this for anyone to have sympathy or empathy for Professor Griff. Everyone has had major operations in their lives, right? I'm changing this, not changing the subject. We're digressing for a minute. And beautiful black skin, I'm going to answer that. Supposedly to enforce the 14th and 15th Amendments. We're going to talk about that in a second. But, Quan, let me have a conversation with you real quick. Everyone has had major surgery in their life. Some people haven't. I have. And one of the things that I've had major surgery on, and I've mentioned this on the show before. I had, coming up, roughing it in New York. I got sliced up. Somebody tried to attack me. So I had my arm opened up. So the reason why I wear long sleeves all the time is because I got battle wounds on my arms. Secondly, the reason why I wear a hat all the time, not because I don't want y'all to see my hair, and I have battle scars on my forehead. I had my forehead opened up before. I don't know if you can see the scar now. You see this scar? Whole forehead got opened up. So Quan, this next one is for you. I eat and try to do softer herbs and vitamins that can go down easy because I had a tracheotomy. Now, I'm not sure if you know what a trach is. So somebody said, why are you always wearing turtlenecks and scarves? Because I'm kind of self-conscious about my neck because I had a trach. See right here? So I had arms opened up, throat cut open, head bashed open. So I take the softer gummy bears. It goes down easy. Thank you, Quan. Thank you, Quan. Physical battle wounds. I got a few more, but yeah. Now, back to the subject. Why do they have to enforce any amendment if you're an American? Why? If you're an American, you don't have to enforce anything. You get it like everybody else get it just by default. Right? Okay. So If the thing that makes you an American has to be enforced, then you're not an American. No. You're not an American. So, because no one else has to have rights enforced, damn near at gunpoint. All right? So the whole idea of the Voting Rights Act in 1965, it says the act to enforce the 15th Amendment to the Constitution was signed into law 95 years after the amendment was ratified. So you almost wait 100 years to have either the National Guard, armed forces in America, judges, local judges, all right, attorney generals, governors, mayors have to enforce, all right, these people to respect your rights. So Malcolm said they're not going to respect our right as a human being, all right, dealing with these civil rights. Malcolm said we need human rights. And until they see you as a human, they're not going to respect you as a human. There is no law that they're going to put in place that they are going to respect. You know, that law is going to be given to enforce for black people that any white man's going to respect. I mean, that's in the annals of history if you go study. All right. So, it says in the years African Americans in the South faced tremendous obstacles in voting. You're talking 1965. This is 2021. All right. Including poll taxes. Who remember the poll tax? You had to pass a test to show that you was literate, and then you had to pay money in order for you to vote. If you're an American, why do you have to have a poll tax? Why do you have to have a poll tax, fam? Come on. If you're an American, don't nobody else pay poll taxes. It says also, including poll taxes, literacy tests. I mentioned that. And other bureaucratic restrictions to deny them the right to vote. They also risk harassment, intimidation, economic reprisals, and physical violence when they try to register to vote. Did you hear about the man recently that was lynched in Douglas County, Georgia? Lynched. So anytime white people feel moved, all right, and bothered, and have this bothersome kind of thorn in their side from black people, we always end up at the end of somebody's rope. And this has been throughout the history and our sojourn in America. Anything political happen that they don't agree with or they lose, you got to get murdered. They have a bad day, they got to shoot up stuff. Somebody is dying. As a result, a few African Americans were registered voters, and they had very little, if any, political power, either locally or nationally. The voting landscape, when it comes to politics, have changed since 1964. But the same obstacles and hurdles that we had to get over then, we have to do the same thing in 2021. All right? In 1964, numerous demonstrations were held at and considerable violence that erupted brought renewed attention to the issue of voting rights. The murder of voting rights activists in Mississippi, attacked by state troopers in peaceful marches in Selma, Alabama, gained national attention. Do you know how many people died? All right, to establish a right for black people to vote? And then now we have people talking about if you don't vote, you don't count. Wow. Vote or die. voting is not only your right, but you're obligated to vote. In most cases, black people sit back and be like, well, vote for whom? And then for what? If they're not going to address anything that concerns black people just kind of like, okay. And if you don't understand the language of racism, white supremacy, you might be looking at this stuff like, now vote for who? About what? Because none of what they're saying speaks, hold on for a second, speaks to black people or about black people. So the Selma marches, the Selma, Alabama turmoil, the Mississippi turmoil, people getting beat and people getting dog sicked on them and sprayed with water hoses, gained national attention and persuaded President Lyndon Baines Johnson and the Congress to initiate meaningful and effective national voting rights legislation. All right, the combination of public revulsions to the violence and Johnson's political skills stimulating Congress to pass the Voting Rights Bill on August 5th, 1965. So this idea of having the right to vote hold on. Nope, not that one. Hold on. Hold on for a second. Why vote? We don't get any tangibles. We should not participate in a voting process until we get real tangibles from those who want our votes. Quan S. What are the tangibles we're talking about, Quan? Family. What are the tangibles that we're talking about? And Quan is absolutely correct. If we're going to vote, what are we getting for the vote? What are the tangibles? And then if we're outnumbered in this country any old way, why is that we have to get threatened? Why do they have to have voter suppression? What is the voter suppression about? Why are they jumping through all these political hoops and signing new laws that restrict black people from voting? All right. No, beautiful black skin, I agree with you. We need land, agriculture, black education, our own schools, our own farms so we can feed ourselves. All right. Area safe zones in America. You're right. Reparations is not a STEMI. This article says opponents of the Georgia new elections law call it a blatant act on voting rights, aimed specifically at suppressing the minority vote that helped propel Joe Biden's presidential win and gave Democrats 2 critical seats in the U.S. Senate. Those particular individuals that took those seats was John Ossoff, I believe, and Raphael Warnock. All right. So I think when the Republicans saw that black people were going to show up in mass and change the landscape of American politics, that's when they decided we're going to do something about this. And Governor Kemp signed a new law in place dealing with the elections and the law in Georgia. And we know and understand that it's a blatant attack on the voting rights. Plain and simple. So now, when our older people say voting is right and you should get out to vote. That's the only way you're going to change things. And we've been telling them, no, that's not only the only way we're going to change things. So President Biden said last week the law amounts to Jim Crow in the 21st century. Can someone tell me what is Jim Crow? And why did Biden say it's Jim Crow in the 21st century? President Biden also called it un-American. Well, what is American that what Brian Kemp is doing is un-American? And Joe Biden also called it sick. Peace, what's good? Wait, how you feel, bro? All right. So family, do me a favor. I need y'all to contact 3 other people and let them know that we're on, and let them know that wherever you're watching me at, tell them that's where I need them to tune in tomorrow night. All right. Also, a quick announcement. I am going to be doing part 3 of the weaponization of black music. All right. So I want y'all to check for the flyer for that. And please support. It's going to be a Zoom meeting kind of lecture that we're doing. All right. I'm going to run down the deaths of those of us that have passed away. And we're going to talk about DMX's situation. But we're going to talk about what's preventable. All right. And what is it in the music? What it is in the spirit and the vibration of the music, and why we're responding to our own music in the way that we are. All right. Who weaponized the music? All right. So I'm going to have that discussion. I'm going to have a few guests, speakers that's going to join me. Hopefully Black Dot will join me. Hopefully Soleil will join me. There's a few other people I'd like to invite. All right. So you do not want to miss that. All right. So back to this conversation. So now I see that anytime that there is a major incident, those that want to change the law, that already have the ink pen ready to sign off and change the law, use these particular incidents to get ahead and say, see, I told you so. But now, as a direct result of black people showing up, with people like Stacey Abrams, with the energy that she had set forth and the agenda that she had set forth, and the people working with her had set forth an agenda in Georgia, and black people showed up, and thanks to black people showing up and showing out, sacrificing, staying in lines as long as they did, without drink, without potato chips, without vegan donuts, without vegan toothpicks and napkins, without, Krusty Kremes or drunken donuts or whatever it is that y'all eat, stayed out there, went through the process, and actually voted. All right? So much so that the former president, Trump, had made a phone call that we've all heard, and was basically like, I need 11,000 votes. Well, Trump, where did you think this dude was going to pull him out of his ass somewhere? There was no 11, he couldn't find 11,000 because there wasn't 11,000 laying around. All right? Yeah. All right. It says, what's in the Georgia law? Voters can cast mail ballots without voter ID. Some of the things that I've read in dealing with this particular subject, it just didn't make sense to me. And I think, it says, wow, the hypocrisy. This is coming from the same man that the author of the 94 crime bill and locked up more black men than any other politician. No, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct, Juan. You're absolutely correct. So, in studying and doing some cross-referencing, I said to myself, why is Major Baseball League reacted in the way that they're reacting? You're going to pull a baseball game? You know, whew, if you're talking about un-American and you're talking about apple pie and trading baseball cards, man, if you don't have a baseball game in Atlanta, these people lose their mind. They take sports serious here, man. Oh, talking about sports, you remember that college that I told y'all that I flew all the way out to that college to speak and they wouldn't let me speak? That college is, the name of that college is Gonzaga. But them fuckers lost. Good. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. So if they don't have baseball games in Georgia, oh, it's a problem, man. Because now it's throwing off the financial stability and the economic scale in Georgia, since Georgia is trying to fight back in order to get its economic and financial footing back to keep people working. So the major baseball league is like, nah, bro, we're not going for that. What's in the Georgia law? Voters can cast mail ballots without photo ID. In-person requirements not changed. I never understood these things from the beginning. And I agree with you, beautiful black skin. If you're going to vote, you're going to need some kind of ID. You can't come and use your damn your monthly card that you get from the strip club. Nah, your subscribers photo ID card that you get in half price on Thursdays to come show at the voting thing. No, you have to have a state issued ID. If you're gonna play that game and you're gonna vote, then that's the rules. I don't vote like that. I'm not telling you not to. I'm just saying I don't do it. Because I've been made aware of the tricks and the machinations of this particular government and how it works. All right? So what's actually in the bill, among the most high-profile provisions of the controversial new Georgia election law, is a change in how the state verifies the identity of voters. How are you going to verify the identity of the voters? All right? Who requests and casts absentee ballots? Apparently, it's racist to have an ID to vote. Explain that to me, Top Dog. How is it racist to have an ID to vote? Please educate me. Bernice Carter, help me out. Somebody help me out. Quan. All right. New Black Panther Party, the Virginia chapter. Somebody help Professor Grip out. Beautiful black skin said they make us use ID for everything else. Housing, license, school, condoms. So yeah, okay, I got you. All right. Top Dog, you being sarcastic? See, come on, bro. We don't do that here. This name of my platform is called Serious Minds. All right. Well, I can take a joke, but we're not joking right now. But I'm saying, help me out. All right, you said we didn't need one before the election? I've always said the law is only as good as those that enforce the law. The change eliminates signature matching, a process that can be subjective at times as the method of confirming absentee voter identities. Instead, if the voters have a driver's license number or a state ID number, they are required to use that to verify who they are. The new election bill in Georgia is not about showing ID to vote. Atlantic writer Jamil Hill wrote, Republicans are salty the state went blue, and they resent that their power was taken away by black voters. They want a rigid game because they're too lazy to come up with a new vision to compete for voters. Biden is definitely no saint. And the laws are created and supported and enforced for their benefit. We understand that. Got you. All right. Dr. Khalid El Hakim, if you're just tuning in, this is Professor Griffin. This is Serious Minds RNTV, and we are talking about the Voting Act, the voting laws that are being changed. Now, how many other states are following Governor Kemp's spirit, all right, with this voter suppression laws? You said you got my I didn't vote sticker? Got you. All right. Somebody said voting is a scam. I was watching this other thing today, and somebody said, not only voting is a scam, but college is a scam. I'm seeing all kinds of stuff, and it's confusing a lot of people. This is why we have to come on here. We have to dialogue. Frida Jackson, peace. What's good with you? You're right. When the laws don't go their way, meaning government, the government changes the rules to fit exactly. In a minute, it's going to be a height requirement. In a minute, it's going to be the paper bag test. In a minute, if you didn't get vaccinated, it's going to be you can't vote. In a minute, it's going to be a few other things. McConnell warns of serious consequences for businesses that help the far left mobs. Previously, Georgia law required voters to simply sign their absentee ballot applications. Now, they would have to provide a number from a driver's license or an equivalent state ID identification in order to, this is virtually certain to limit access to absentee voters. Right. So this is voter suppression at its best. Quan said, I guess I'm out then. A lot of things are going to come out of this, this pandemic. A lot of things are going to come out, or out of it, in reference to your so-called rights. All right? So we have to be very mindful that they're going to change the rules as they go along. You're going to change the rules as they go along. And I've been saying for a long time, when these kind of things happen, it's best for you to protect your neck and guard your grill. That brother did not have to get lynched in Georgia. But when we have troubled times like this, and when white people don't get their way, it becomes a problem. If the black vote didn't count, then they wouldn't have to change the law. True. They're showing improving by changing the law. They're showing improving that it counts. The problem with our community is that we can't solely depend on the vote. We have to have several irons in the fire. All right, just like even when we protest, some go and protest, some have to do other things. We have to hold these politicians accountable and follow through on our own agenda. That's Dr. Khalid El Hakim and his sidekick Zen. All right. Family, if you're just tuning in, make sure you support the platform. My cash app is $ Professor Griff. Make sure you support independent black media. Of course, if you're on YouTube, you can go to the bottom, hit the super chat. All right, if you're on IG, just pick up your phone right now and say, yo, Griff, here's $1.50, bro. I gotta get my model card tomorrow. I ain't even got it like that. All right, whatever you could do to support. All right. If you know anybody who want to take firearms training in Georgia, please let me know. I got indoor classes coming up and outdoor range classes coming up. I got AR-15 classes coming up and handgun classes coming up. Get in touch with me. My number is 678-557-2919. What's the distraction about the water and voter suppression? I don't know what you're talking about, Todd Muhammad. The water. James Coleman, peace. What's good with you? I don't have a clue, bro. All right. So, I don't want to say in a nutshell, but in summing this all up, this idea of voter suppression, all right, needs to be looked at like these other political tricks by the leftist mobs, all right, that want to kind of reverse and go back and undo all of the things that you said that your ancestors fought, bled, and died for. Now you're letting it slip through your fingers. All right? We're simply asking everyone, do your part, man. Do your part. Whatever you think your part is. You don't have to ask Professor Griff what you should do. All right? Do the necessary research and do your part. Plain and simple. I can't dictate and tell you what to do. Move how you move. Move as a team, never move alone. Like Don Cornelius said, you know, in the great words of one of our Negro poets, man, move as a team, never move alone. Welcome to the Terror Dome. All right, fam? No one's dictating to you how to move. But no one understands when stuff like this go down and you see a sister getting arrested and they're trying to give her 8 years for knocking on the door at the Capitol. Come on. Who was the sister that was knocking on the door at the Capitol? Hold on for a second. Let's look her up. Georgia lawmaker arrested as governor approves new voting law. And she was hauled off to jail. State Representative Park Cannon is placed into the back of a Georgia State Capitol Patrol car after being arrested at the state capitol. She knocked on the door. They're trying to give her 8 years. All right? They're trying to give her a whole 8 years. Wink, thank you very much, man, for the donation, good bro. All right, Wink, thank you. Repeatedly knocking on the office door of Georgia Governor Brian Kemp got one state lawmaker arrested at the Capitol on Thursday. Democratic State Republican Park Cannon, a black woman, continued knocking on Kemp's office door after Georgia State Patrol troopers instructed her to stop. She said later she was arrested for fighting voter suppression. They broke her arm for real? A law signed by Governor Kemp on Thursday includes new limitations on mail-in voting, expands most voters' access into in-person early voting, and caps a months-long battle over voting in a battleground state. This is crazy, fam. Opio, peace, man. What's good, man? Mr. Opio, sir. Help us out, man. What's up with this voter suppression? Salute, what's good with you? Gangrene machine. Cannon is facing a charge of obstructing law enforcement officers by using the use of threats or violence, as she faces a second charge of disrupting General Assembly sessions or other meetings of members. It's unclear what was said between Cannon and one of the state troopers guarding Kemp's office door. Peace, Bariki Nandi. Peace and blessings. She was on CNN with Don Lemon last week in a sling. Damn. So these ain't nothing but some Jim Crow tricks, you said? Yeah. Well, family, this is happening in your lifetime in real time. All right? You have enough knowledge. You have enough history behind you and present to know and understand, to do your own independent either investigation or research in order to come up with your own conclusions in order for you to make the moves that you need to make. All right? Okay. All right, family. Yeah, this is real. So we have a few years to kind of figure this out. All right? This is just the beginning with this voter suppression thing. Oh, give thanks, man. A girl named Bobby. All right, peace from Chicago. All love and thank your presence and contribution to hip hop and black people. Give thanks, Queen. All right, this is Professor Griff. I gotta get ready to get out of here. I gotta get black to work. All right, family. If you need firearm training, hit your brother up. My phone number is 678-557-2919. Go to my Serious Minds Institute page, all right, to see the dates where I'm going to be and what I am actually doing. All right, Serious Minds Institute. That is Serious Minds Institute. All right, Quan. We will talk. I will be black tomorrow night. We got to finish this conversation about Derek Chauvin. All right, about the trial that's going on. All right, family. Get your mind right. Because however this thing fall, on whatever side it fall on with this trial, protect yourself. All right, protect your neck and guard your grill. I love y'all to life, fam. This is Professor Griff, Minister of Information, Public Enemy in the building. All right, Serious Minds for Serious Minds. Seriously. All right, I will see y'all tomorrow night, inshallah. Peace.
Serious Minds Brain Tonic was created to sharpen the mind by protecting cells and increasing neurotransmitters associated with learning and memory. This is the Serious Minds Brain Tonic. The Resurrection Formula. This male reproductive tonic elixir is the resurrection you've been looking for. It is a stimulating sexual tonic with mild androgen-like effects that is nourishing to the reproductive system. You can order them at www.professorgriff.me and www.seriousmindsinstitute.com. Just call 678-557-2919. Your health is your wealth. Peace.
Greetings, Professor Griff, Public Enemy, instructor for the USCCA. Today, we're going to talk about safety, training, education, and legal protection. Join us out here on the range to get some training, get some education, most of all safety, and definitely if you have to use your firearm, some legal protection. Contact us. Simply go to www.professorgriff.me or www.seriousmindsinstitute.com for safety, training, education, and legal protection. Alright? Professor Griff, Public Enemy, and I'll see y'all in class.